Hello, and a very warm welcome to day two of the Embrace Your Inner Flow immersion. We're here today to discover more about the fire element. The fire element is the season of summer. It's the time as we are in the Northern Hemisphere at the moment, in the full swing of summer. It's the time where energy is dispersing in all directions. It's not anymore as focused as it was for the wood element, where the energy just wants to go up and out. But this time, it's dispersive. This energy, it's very warm energy. Obviously, it's the energy of the heart and the small intestines, which are the two complementary organs, the yin and yang organs of this element. Plus, the fire element is the only one that has another extra pair of meridians linked to it, which we will go deeper into in the 5G course. But here we're just going to take care for today with the heart and the small intestine. I'm going to show you a couple of points in a minute, a few moves that you can take. And first, I'm just going to introduce you a little bit more to the fire element so that you get a real good feeling for this radiant energy of the summer, of the sun, which is felt most intensely in this time of the year. But obviously, this energy is always available to us and it's also within us. So if you are, for example, a person who has a lot of fire element, you will feel that, you will see that you have certain signs um, that show you that you have a lot of fire element. So maybe you're a very expressive, creative person who connects easily with people, who's very joyful by nature, can get frightened very easily too. That is something when the fire element is weakened in a person, it they one of the signs can be that you have frights very quickly. I want you to would like to remind you again that when we talk about the heart in Chinese medicine, it's not just the organ. And in Chinese medicine, the organ itself is actually seen as the emperor of the whole body. So the heart is a very, very important organ, a yin organ, that is directly related to our expression of our heart shen, is what the Chinese call this. This is our heart mind. So in Chinese medicine, the mind is not separate from the heart, but they are together. So they're like a team. And so, for example, when you see somebody with a very healthy shen, with a very healthy heart mind, you will see that through this person's eyes. The eyes will have a sparkle, there will be a aliveness in the eyes. And this is one of the prognostic signs that we can use also for a person's journey. If there is very little shen in their eyes, it also shows that there's not an enormous amount of strength left. So the Shen is really a great expression of a very strong, healthy fire element. Fire people also draw others to them. They can be very magnetic. They can really, whereas the wood people would be sometimes more structured, maybe a little bit more forceful. People with a lot of fire element, they connect so easily with each other. Or always remember, when there is a disharmony, you can also get the opposite. So they will isolate themselves. They find it very, very hard to connect with people. That would be an imbalance in the fire element. The emotion of the fire element is joy. And when we hear joy, we're like, okay, this is a great emotion. I want to have joy all the time. Whereas we don't think that when we hear the emotion of the wood element, which is anger. But the joy is a beautiful thing to cultivate. But we also have to understand that every emotion affects our organs. And the more extreme the emotions are, the more they will affect our health. So repetitive emotional outbursts, they cost us something in regards to our chi management. So when I talk about the $100 of chi a day, when we have manic outbursts of joy regularly, this will not go unnoticed in our body. So we have to be aware that even joy there's calm joy, there's a deep gratitude of joy, but there is also manic joy, over exaggeration, going all over the top all the time. That is something that is rather seen as an imbalance than a balanced fire element. As our Shen is very much connected also to our sleep, you will see this afterhand with the points we use. They are very good for you to use also in the evening or in bed when you find it difficult to fall asleep. I'll show you a position with your arm so you can work on the heart meridian, because for sleep, for calming the mind, we always very often use points of the heart meridian, points of the pericardium meridian, and I'm going to show you those in a minute. How much we sweat, for example, also relates to the fire element, because our fire element is directly linked to that, and our blood circulation is linked to the fire element. Our tongue, important. If you go to a Chinese medicine practitioner or to an acupuncturist and they ask you to stick out the tongue, they're going to look at the whole body of your tongue, the coating, and also the tip of the tongue, because that will show them how is your heart, how is your fire element. That is often seen on the tip of the tongue. And sometimes, or quite often, when someone has a very red tip, it can show that someone is finding it difficult to sleep through the night and to have a peaceful sleep. So let's have a look together at the two meridians, so we can get into the movement and into the points that we want to do together today. Heart meridian, beautiful meridian. It's, and without breaking his arm, it's the heart meridian starts here in the armpit. If you go like that and you put your hand behind the head, you simply relax the arm, and you go pressing, and you will find a depression right in the center of your armpit. And from there, you can basically draw a line all the way to the inside elbow crease, and then from the inside elbow crease all the way to the inner wrist crease here. And here you will find heart 7. And this is a beautiful point to calm the mind, to directly access the chi of the heart. Because when you think about that, the meridians are just the superficial pathways. They are just the pathways that we get to see because they're drawn on these posters, on these dolls. But there is also other pathways. There's other connective uh, channels that connect the meridians with each other. There's little areas. So don't think of the acupuncture point as just one tiny little point, but remember that it's zones. Remember that it's rivers that are flowing. So here the heart meridian has 4 important points here on the wrist. So we have heart 7, 6, 5, and 4, all in the distance of each one, half a finger width apart. And when you feel this tendon here, you go on the outside of the tendon for the acupressure, and try and relax your hand into your lap, so you can really just press and release the points around there. And some of them can be almost a little bit sharp. So go easy, go gentle. You can also do the stroking. You can use your oils for that. I love using the floral oils. They're very supportive for the heart chi, because the heart chi is a very fine chi. It's not as powerful in the same way as the wood energy. You will see then the difference with the earth chi. But the fire chi is that aspect of us. It's like it's the emperor, the empress of your body, the heart, and that's the energy that goes with it. So everything we do with the heart meridian is gentle and kind. And every time you touch the heart meridian, it's like you're having a visit with the emperor. So do it with respect. Be kind and gentle with yourself when you do the acupressure. I find that a very, very important component. Maybe some of you have seen my reel where I show you how to connect to yourself. And this is a way of doing this that you can also do when you do the acupressure. It's this very lovingly taking care of you, remembering that you are a collection of cells that are doing their jobs, different cells working all together to make up you. And your nervous system, guided by your heart Chen, is the director of all of this. So every single time where you connect to yourself and you lovingly take care of yourself and your cells, your whole nervous system gets to relax for a moment, gets to feel that peace that you bring it. I hope you're massaging while I'm talking, and then we're going to swap over. Actually, no, I'm going to show you first how in bed, as you're lying like this, I would love for you to try this. Find the elbow crease, and you, again, here you just fall into the points. The points are not randomly located on the body, they all have a very great purpose why they are where they are. And then when you go along the biceps, you will also find very tender points in this area, all the way to the armpit. Always remembering the flow and the river in the meridian that you want to enhance. And you know that all the meridians are on both sides. So heart meridian is exactly the same on the other side. But in balance method, we like to go yin yang. So we do the heart meridian on one arm, and on the other hand, we're going to go to the small intestine. And that one I show you here on the doll. It's ending here at the outside of the little finger, and it also moves up the hand around the wrist. I'll show you where that is, because it's a bit difficult. That's one of the things I always found difficult in acupuncture school, to not slip over to the heart. Maybe some of you who are studying acupuncture, you know that feeling. And you come up the shoulder, zigzag over the shoulder blades, over the neck, over the neck, over the jaw. It's a little confusing here. To the jaw, and then it finishes at the ear. So just in front of the ear. So it does a little bit like this, and then over the shoulder blades in a couple of zigzags, and then to the little finger, because the little finger is the entry and the exit point of the heart meridian on the inside of the little finger, and the small intestine on the outside of the little finger. So these two meridians, which are also a couple, you can look at them like a married couple that is working together. And that is the heart and the small intestine. And in Chinese medicine, the yin organs have got a lot more important function to them than the yang organs. So let's find, on the other hand, small intestine 4. And that one you find by first going to small intestine 3. Here, just after this little bump, you will find again like an area in between the bone and the muscle of the hand. And then here you slide down until you fall into the depression of small intestine 4. And in this point, I like to massage like that. Again, support your hand, support yourself while you do this. Lean back, sit back, and while I'm talking, feel free to massage, because you will absorb the information 10 times better if you do this kind of acupressure to yourself. Like I love to do this even when I have a Zoom call, when I have to listen to someone, and it may be a little bit boring, but also when it's very interesting, doesn't really matter. It's a way to create peace in the mind for me. That's why I'm sharing this, because if so many people have given me the feedback that also for them it has this extremely calming effect to work with the points, to stimulate the chi in the points. And so I want you to just kind of do that for a moment. You can always close your eyes for a moment and just feel how it feels in this area. And maybe you notice how the frantic activity of the mind starts to slow down in a clarity way, in a clear way. And you start to just feel how the body feels. How does it feel on the point? And those of you with oil, you do it with oil. Those of you who don't have oil, you don't need it. Just a little information. Small intestine, these points are often used to balance the spine, the neck and the spine. At the same time, this point that I just showed you, small intestine 4, is also the yuan source point of the small intestine meridian. So it's a direct point to with direct effect on the organ itself. So it will support the whole meridian at the same time. The small intestine has the function of digestion, assimilation, absorbing the last bits of the good stuff in the food we eat, and then expelling the rest. And it's helping also the heart. If the heart has too much heat, the small intestine will help to release this heat. So let's do a couple of movements that will open the heart meridian and the arm yin meridians a little bit. For some of you, if you prefer to sit, you could do it in sitting. But for those of you who want to stand up, you can stand up with me and take a moment to just stand. Stand and feel how you feel in this moment. So you have a reference point when we're finished. Feel how your head is kind of drawing up at the same time your tailbone is sinking down. So you're opening your whole spine. And then you can just begin to gather some chi. So you inhale, you gather the chi from the earth. Inhale up towards the chest. Your elbows are opening up. When you're finished, you exhale. And you can just feel your heels sinking into the ground, your shoulders relaxing. And again, inhale, press your feet into the ground, feel the length of your spine, the expansion in the elbows. And then exhale again, simply sinking, allowing yourself to rest on the earth below. One more inhale. And now as you exhale, you turn the hands, you take them out, you flex the wrists and you extend through Lao Gong, the pericardium point in the center of your palm. And as you exhale and you release the shoulders, that's very important. Keep your shoulders down, keep your elbows slightly flexed, and so are your knees. Your knees and your elbows move together. And then you extend again, you really flex the hand, activating the hand, spreading the finger. And if I stand like this, you can see it a little bit better. Whenever I see a lot of people doing this, doing all that kind of stuff, try and really work with your hand to expand through the hand, to lengthen through the hand without straightening the elbow. Let go, sink. I know it's burning a little bit in the arm, but it's good because you're activating the chi. Inhale. Feel like your arm is starting already in the center of your chest, in the center of your back. That is where your arm is expanding. There's space in the articulations. You're opening the tendons. You feel the back of your neck rising and your tailbone sinking. Let's do one more. Slowly bring the hands together to the front. Cross them over. And same movement. Sink and then extend. Again, feel your shoulders expanding to each side. Flex the hand. Notice if there's one finger that is trying to do something completely different. And then just point your hand a little bit forward. Feel the shoulder blades opening. And then turn the other way. Turn the little finger a little bit back. And one more time the other way. And last breath. And let the hands sink. Shake them out a little bit. Allow your shoulders to really let go. Just with your heels. Your heels are lifting and sinking and lifting and sinking and shaking out everything. And then you stand still. And you just feel and notice the flow of chi in your arms all the way into your hands, into your fingertips. And this is just 2 moves, and hopefully you feel it as much as I do. Let me know if you also notice these kind of streams of energy running. Sometimes I feel almost like my hands swollen after this. I can really feel the fingertips pulsating with chi. And this is something that the more I practice, the faster this feeling comes to me. And it's really, really helpful for the practice because it makes your hands more powerful. The moment you touch, there is already a transmission. So because I mixed it up a little bit and I let you acupressure yourself before we did the moves, we're going to go back and do a little bit more acupressure. And so focus for this time just on the whole meridian. So I would love for you to use your oil, roll it along the meridian from heart 7 at the wrist all the way to the elbow crease. When you do like your elbow like this, here's the end of the fold, and just below that is your heart 3. And that's a point I often use when the spirits seem to go down, when I want to help to lift the spirit up. Then this is a very, very beautiful point. It's the her C point of the meridian. It's where the chi starts to sink deep into the body. And while you massage this meridian without holding the arm up, I'm going to say it again because I've seen I've seen that before. Don't do that. Just relax your arm into your lap and do the massage nice and calm while you listen. Um, and so the heart is the one that you want to take care of when you can feel that your heart mind is scattered, when it's difficult for you to concentrate, when the chi is all confused, or you can feel that there's way too much activity in the head and not at all enough in the body. These are the moments where, with the touch, with the acupressure together, you can help yourself to ground your energy back to you and focus it into the direction that you want to. And this is very powerful because it gives you, you have access to that whenever you need to. You have access to your hands whenever you need to. The oils are a beautiful addition because they work, like I mentioned yesterday, on another level. They work by directly through the olfactory system, um, affecting our limbic brain. So they will remind you on this moment if you believe that oils do that or not. It doesn't matter, because when you smell something that you have a memory with, it comes back immediately the moment you smell the smell. And so what I like to do is link the oil with specific meridians, with specific treatment sequences, to remind yourself of how you want to feel, of where you want to come back to, of what the harmony would look like in this organ system, in this meridian, in this element or season of life. Now, let me see if there's anything else that I wrote down to share with you today. Yes, so one of the important things too in this time of the hottest time of the year, to nourish the fire element, is to give it foods that are cooling. So this is the only time of the year where you are allowed to eat cooler foods than every other season of the year. In Chinese medicine, we prefer cooked food rather than raw, but because it's easier for the spleen and stomach to absorb and digest and metabolize and create qi from it. But in summer, you're allowed to eat more cooling foods, like cucumbers are fantastic, radishes, salads, endive salad. The bitter taste is very good for the heart element. Um, Drinking, obviously, I mean, everyone knows that, but it's very, very important to remind yourself often. And I love to make infusions with herbal infusions, for example, with the nettles, and then make like a iced tea out of this, like without actually adding ice, but just drinking it cold, like I do here. And it's so refreshing. Sometimes I add a drop of lime oil into it because it's also rather cooling in nature. Mm. And it's very, very refreshing. Now, two more things. Your fire element is your direct access to your own intuition, to hearing your inner voice, because each one of us is born with a specific destiny, with something that this spark has been born to live in its life. And it's definitely not a job. It's definitely not just a job, but it's a life experience. It's a way of living life. And that when the heart is healthy, when the fire element is strengthened, it is much, much more possible for us to find that path that is ours. Because we hear the voice of our intuition, because we know how to connect to it, like spending time in nature, having quiet moments without distraction, um, being around people that we love are all things that help us directly to connect to the heart, to our intuition, and to fortify our heart, mind, our Shen. So I hope you have gotten something out of this today, and I hope you love the elements already. I could talk about this for hours, and there's so much more we can talk about and do. But in the next days, tomorrow it will be the earth element. That's the season of late summer, beautiful too. And then we go into fall, which is the metal element, and then we finish off with water. And each day there's going to be something for you to take home, to use, and to help yourself whenever you need to. That's my mission and passion in life. Through my own health issues, I had to learn how to um, become very, very good at strengthening myself. And now is the time to share this knowledge and to share the wisdom of Chinese medicine with those who want to know. So I'm excited you're here. Thank you for everything, for your time, for practicing, for your interest. Take good care of yourself, and I see you tomorrow. Ciao.